What's up guys, Noor here. I'm back with another video explaining where I've been for the past few days, I guess. So you might not know, or if you do know, then that's great. I went to Pakistan. I was on a trip to Pakistan and I didn't really record much, so I'm sorry about that. You won't get much Pakistani content. But yeah, I was on a trip to Pakistan and the trip was fun, going there. It was pretty fun. Meeting my relatives, that was very fun. But there were a few things which I regretted, which made me regret going there. One of the things was the electricity problems, which made me regret going there. But the other thing was that we had a mishap happen. So I'll just start from the beginning. We arrived at Pakistan. We basically met all our relatives, my cousins, and it was really fun. It was a really fun time. And then after, I think, 5 days of staying in Pakistan, and most of my cousins and their families decided to go to my Nana and Nana Say's house. It's called Jahania. And we went there, and my brother and my other cousins were playing around. One of our cousins were playing together, other little cousins. And Mani happened to have an accident where he fell. So he broke his elbow joint and we had to rush to the hospital. And I was in tears because this had never happened before. I mean, yes, he fractured his arm before, but it wasn't as serious. I literally saw him fall and I saw a bone come out his skin, and it was a terrifying experience. And it was scary, it was really scary. But then we went to a hospital in Multan. We drove 40 minutes to Multan. So then we went to Multan and we went to a hospital and we got him checked out. We had an x-ray done. So at first we thought it was a fracture or maybe a displacement of his bone. But then after that we realized that it was a broken bone after we saw the x-ray. So we stayed in a room for 45 minutes until the doctor was done with the operation room. And then Mani had an operation where they basically put some some metal rods inside his bones, inside his skin and stuff, to join the bones together, and stitched. There's stitches over here, right here, and they're massive. It's a massive cut, and it's really terrifying to see it because he gets his plaster changed every day. But for 7 days, he had his plaster changed constantly, and I literally saw the rods out that were coming out of his skin. There's one rod coming out from here, and one rod coming out from here, and yeah, it was a lot to process for me at the time. And yeah, so that happened to him, and yeah, he had an operation, and for most of the time he was really drowsy and he kept on vomiting and he kept on having a fever because of the anesthesia and stuff like that. And yeah, so after he recovered quite a bit, he recovered enough to talk and stuff like that. We waited at least a day to get out the hospital, which he was admitted in, and for that whole day which we waited, he was vomiting literally everything. We gave him a sip of water and he kept on vomiting that, and it was really crazy. So after noon of that day, we were discharged. We went home, and then he had his plaster changed once every day for 7 days until and he also had medication. He had Calpol and Brufen and other ones, antibiotics and stuff like that, painkillers because of the pain. And yeah, so before we came to Saudi, or a day before we came to Saudi, his 7 days were over, and now he gets his plaster changed once every 2 days. So he gets a 1-day break, which made him really happy. So yeah, it was a really horrifying experience and it was really hard to accept that what happened to him was actually real, because my mind was just blank. I couldn't really do anything. My whole body was shaking. I was in tears for at least 3 days constantly. And whenever I heard Mani cry, because when he fell, the way he cried, his scream was it's still etched into my mind. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not trying to be a cringy YouTuber here. But the thing is, it's actually terrifying to see someone, or someone that you're really close to, scream like that. And I can't explain his scream, just how terrifying it was. It's still etched into my brain. And it was really fun to meet my relatives and stuff like that. It was a fun time, but a few things which made me regret going to Pakistan, like the environment and stuff like that. There were a few things that made me regret going to Pakistan, which were there, but it was really fun to meet my cousins, hang out with them, and meet my relatives. I'll make a video on this later on, I guess a part 2 you could say, on my YouTube channel. It was very official, by the way. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.